Attention, quiet on the set. It's Tirade TV.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Glad you can join me. Hey, you know how I do it. I like to get right into it. But first of all, if you haven't already, please go and download our podcast on Spotify. When you go in and search for Tirade TV, look for this handsome face. And when you find it, you know you've got the right podcast. Also, uh, please like, share, subscribe if you find the content here valuable. If you love looking at my handsome face all day, um, just please share because people need to know this. Every headline reads one thing, but you have to read all the way through the headline in order to find out what's really going on sometimes. Sometimes there are little messages or secrets within the headline or within the story that we don't actually read. We just go by the headline, which is what most mainstream media outlets want you to do. Just read the headline. But people like myself and many others on this platform actually, speak about the entire article. So, with that in mind, you know how I do. Let's get right into it. Um, NPR today, this outlet here. First of all, it seemed like we've been just so pushed and shoved and in many cases mandated to accept a certain jab. And it's kind of, really worn some people out. So, and that's still going on, by the way. That hasn't stopped, obviously. But now it seems as though they're bringing on another jab, and that is the jab due to the monkeypox. I was looking at this story here on NPR, sorry, on NPR, and here we go again. That's all I could say. Here we go again. It clearly says here that the U.S. will offer nearly 300,000 doses of monkeypox jab in the coming weeks. So 300,000 doses of the monkeypox jab. Goes on to say the Biden administration announced an quote enhanced nationwide, let's say jab strategy, unquote, to curb the spread of monkeypox in the US. In a call with reporters on Tuesday, top federal health officials, including director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, and Dr. Ashish Jha, the White House COVID response coordinator, laid out the, gotta be careful what I say here, by the way, because certain trigger words, I mean, even though I'm just basically reading an article which is in the news, but you still have to be careful just for presenting an article that's already written by a one of the mainstream media outlets. But it goes on to say the White House uh, response coordinator for that big thing that's been going on for the past 2 years laid out the administration's plan to expand the availability of the jab for monkeypox. The Department of Health and Human Services will make 296,000 doses available in the coming weeks. Within that amount, 56,000 doses will be made available immediately and expects a total of 1.6 million doses to be available in the U.S. by the end of the year. Uh, the jab being distributed in the, I guess it's pronounced Genios jab, which is administered in two doses given 28 days apart. Wow. Um, mm. There are now more than 300 confirmed cases of monkeypox in the U.S., according to the CDC. As NPR has reported, a lack of testing for monkeypox means that the outbreak is likely bigger than the case count suggests. There have been no reported deaths from monkeypox in the U.S. during the current outbreak. Yeah, here we go again. I guess you can say that. It seemed like we just really got worn out by, the past year definitely going all the way back probably to the end of 2020 up until now and so on, basically gotten really worn out by the talk of a jab, you know, and obviously they're trying to mandate it everywhere. Of course, there's some states that just won't do it, thankfully, and there's some states that sure they're more than happy to do it. There are some businesses that have mandated it, which really sucks for employees. And I do think that is the real reason that they're not saying that's behind many people leaving their jobs. Because no matter how, no matter how much people need money and they need income, you know, they don't want to they don't want to be mandated to get a jab, in which that particular jab does not really no one really knows how it's going to affect the body now or in the future. You can get it now, you can get the jab now and be perfectly fine. And then 2 years from now, you start seeing the consequences of it or the negative effects of it. Some people are seeing the negative effects right now. But yeah, this is crazy. And then once again, this should be a my body, my choice type of thing. Hopefully people do look at it that way. Because when it comes to certain things like abortion or whatever, it's my body, my choice. But when it comes to other things like certain mandates, supposedly it can't be your body, your choice. Just find it very strange. Would definitely like to know what you all think in the comments regarding the jab for the monkeypox. And they say it's been 300 cases. But see how they put that in there? It's like they said it's been 300 cases have been confirmed, but because of the lack of testing available, there's probably more. You see how it's like they throw a little bit of fear in there. If they just said, "Oh, no one's died from it. Oh, it's only 300 cases," it's not going to fear too many people. It's really not. Let's be honest. And they say for the most part, it's been being contracted through sexual intercourse. And I read one article that basically said it was, you know, basically contracted, male on male sexual intercourse. But when you add in the fact that, yeah, there are only 300 cases, no one's died, but due to lack of testing, there are probably more cases than being reported. See, that's how they put that little bit of fear. I mean, every single article, you could be reading the whole article from the headline all the way down to like the last paragraph. Everything could seem somewhat okay, but the last paragraph will always try to there's always going to be something there. It could be a lie in some cases, most cases it is, but it's also going to be fear, some kind of fear factor to make people react. So what they want now, I guess, is for people to go out and just, if you have a little bump or a rash or whatever, to go out and start getting tested for monkeypox. And unfortunately, there are going to be some people who do that. There are going to be many people who do it. It could be an allergic reaction to something. Oh, go get tested for monkeypox. It could be just some ordinary average bites or whatever from insects or whatever. Oh, go get tested for monkeypox. Here's the thing. If you have rashes or any kind of symptoms from anything that you've experienced before, let's say 2020, and they reappear now, more than likely, whatever caused it before 2020, and I'm not a doctor or any kind of health expert, and I don't try to be like most people you see on mainstream media. They try to be health experts. They have these titles and so-called degrees and in major universities and Ivy League schools, whatever. And they're a bunch of hypocrites and a bunch of liars, in my opinion. But if you experience symptoms and those symptoms appeared in your life before 2020, before that big thing that's been going on the past couple of years, chances are whatever caused it then is the same thing that's causing it now. That's just my opinion. Don't let these people instill more fear in you than what than what than what's already there. And I know everyone, we all have a little bit of fearness when it comes to something. Like, I don't know anyone who's just absolutely fearless. I would say someone who's absolutely fearless probably doesn't care about anything or anyone, probably doesn't care about themselves. But there should be very little fear. And our faith should always overcome our fear, right? So don't let these people, just have you going out getting tested for monkeypox when it's probably something, I don't know, it could be, like I said, allergic reaction or something. But that's just my opinion on that. It's I don't know. It's strange. But next, I mean, as we know, gas prices are terrible right now. I mean, here in the past week, it has gone down in some places, some areas. But even with that, it's still much higher than what it should be, than what we're accustomed to for the past few years. I would say going back to about 2016, 2017, maybe on up until this year, gas prices were, pretty freaking good. I mean, real good. I remember, just regular unleaded was like, I don't know what, $1.79, $1.89, maybe $1.99 at the most. Now you're still well up into the fours, so the $4 range and up. So it's still, even though it's going down within the past week or so in some areas, it's still not anywhere near where it should be. With that in mind, a lot of according to the New York Post, a lot of I would say a lot of merchants or credit card providers, I guess they come together and decided that the gas stations can put a hold of up to $175 on car swipes as prices soar. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it used to be $125. They would put a hold on there at max. I think they would, but now it's basically what they want to do is they want to make sure that people are actually paying for this gas. They're authorized enough to pay for the gas. Basically, it says U.S. gas prices have surged so much in recent months that major payment processing firms have reportedly increased the size of credit holds placed on customer accounts when they pay at the pump. Visa and MasterCard are now allowing gas stations to place holds up to $175 when customers use their credit or debit cards to pay for gasoline. The increase from an old amount of $125 on holds at gas stations occurred earlier this year. So it looked like they increased it earlier this year to 125, and I think before that it may have been $75 before this year in many places. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but they increased it earlier this year to $125, and now they bumped it up to another $50 to $175. So basically, if you go out there and you try to get gas and you try to pay at the pump, and your credit or debit card, if not is not authorized for at least $175, you will not be able to get gas. Just go inside and pay. In most cases where you use a credit card, generally, I mean, it will there are some that are authorized for still for maybe like $1 or $2, and then it lets you get gas. But look like they're trying to stop that because people are probably going out there getting their card authorized for, $125, but getting like, you know, $300 in gas. Trust me, you don't think someone can go get $300 in gas? They can. Um, and that let you know where the gas prices have gone right now. It says here with the national average price of gas hovering near $5 per gallon and higher in some states, the old limit of $125 was no longer sufficient to ensure payment balances in large vehicles were covered. A Visa spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal in a report published Monday. So yeah, there you go. They want to make sure that people are paying for this gas, and because they know when when things like this happen, people will try to find a way to not really to not really looking for loopholes. Or maybe it is a loophole. Maybe it is to kind of skirt around, certain things. But they know most people are struggling for gas money right now, and they know there may be many people who who maybe only can get authorized for the 125, but especially in larger vehicles, they may need more than $125. Could be a situation they're filling up more than one vehicle. Who knows? But they know what's happening, and they know that when come time, get authorized for a certain amount, but when it comes time to actually pay for the uh, the merchant to get that payment, well, they're not getting all that payment. So basically, they just gave away $250 worth of gas for $125. That's what they're afraid of. I don't know if this is happening everywhere in every state. I don't know if it's like a national thing or if it's just in certain states or whatever. Um, just skimming over the rest of this article here. Let's see. Well, it says since gas stations can't tell how much gas a customer will buy when they insert their credit or debit card, the businesses place a hold on their accounts to ensure the bill is covered until the final number is determined. The hold counts against a customer's credit limit and their available account balance, depending on what card they use. The proper amount typically replaces the hold after a few hours, but as the Wall Street Journal noted, a higher hold limit increases the risk of overdrafts and limits available credit for customers. That is true. Because let's say if you only have $200 on there and you need to get gas and they hold $175, that means you really technically only have a balance of $25 left. So what are you going to do with that? What if you have to go buy food? We know there's inflation on food right now. What if you have to go buy food? $25 is not going to get you a lot of food. What if you have to go buy medicine? Depending on the medicine, $25 may not get that medicine for you. You see what I'm saying? So what they're saying here is basically, a higher hold, it says here limit increases the risk of overdrafts and limits available for credit for customers. So maybe a lot of people going into overdraft because of basically because of high gas prices. At the end of the day, there are many people going into overdraft and paying the extra overdraft fees or whatever because high gas prices. I think banks love it, honestly, because they know in order to continue to use that account, you have to pay up at some point. And if you have direct deposit, you're definitely gonna have to pay because when your direct deposit hit, and if you have like a debit card, the first thing that's gonna go is what? The outstanding balance that you owe. So I think banks love it. I think it's an extra way for banks to make money, but it's bad for the customers because, like I said, it limits what you can spend maybe on a daily basis. It also goes on to say individual gas stations and other merchants determine the size of the hold placed during transactions, but payment firms like Visa and MasterCard have final say over how much can be held. So okay, I never knew that. I'm learning something as I'm talking to you all right now. I honestly I always thought it was the gas stations who said that, which seemed like the gas station should have. Well, I mean, I guess I could see it both ways. The gas stations, it's their product. They're buying gas from them. So, but Visa and Mastercard saying, well, it may be your product, the gas, but it's our card. So I could see why they may would have the final say. But yeah, I never knew that. I guess I never really thought about it until now. But yeah, a Visa spokesperson confirmed the change in the statement to the Post. Quote, while few merchants have always had the ability to set their own pump shutoff limits, this change encourages fuel merchants to allow larger fuel purchases with reduced risk or transaction risk, unquote, the Visa spokesperson said. So basically, they're saying that it's less risk for the fuel merchants. Basically, fuel merchants won't lose money for people basically getting more gas than what they can actually pay for. The Post also reached out to MasterCard for comment. Goes on to say gas prices have fallen slightly since hitting an all-time high of $5, just over $5 per gallon. The average for regular gas was 4.89.7 as of Monday, according to AAA. but prices are much higher in some states, especially California, where a gallon of gas costs more than $6.30. That is insane. That is insane. But I can say this: certain states vote certain ways, and well, let's put it this way: statistics and numbers show that they vote certain ways, and if that is true, then you kind of get what you deserve. Now, other states, they vote a certain way, and they get what they deserve too. But what do you all think about this? I mean, they're basically saying, hey, we need to make it safe for the merchants and for the for Visa and MasterCard. Like they consider their risk, but I don't know if they necessarily consider the harm or the risk for the customer. Because as it clearly stated that you're going to be held up to $175. So basically, I would say this. This is just me. This is just me speaking here. And it's a shame that you could possibly get held $175 credit limit, and you go get $50 worth of gas. And let's be honest, $50 worth of gas may not even fill your car up now, depending on what kind of car you drive. I know the car I drive, I used to be able to fill it up for $45. And the kind of car I drive is a situation where it's premium only, recommended premium fuel only. And I could fill it up for 45, 48 maybe if it's completely dry, which I try never to let it get that way, but right now you're looking at like 80 bucks, $82 to fill it up completely. And as I said, it's a premium fuel only recommended for for the type of car I drive, but that's almost double what it normally would take to completely fill up the tank. So I would say that if you know your car, if you know your car takes $60 to fill it up, sh- I would say honestly, you need to have that. w- I would say you need to have about $300 on that card, because $300, and then you take away the 60. Actually, in some way, you probably need more than that, because you put $300 on there, and they hold 175. I mean, you got $125 left. I guess that depending on what you're doing that day, $125 may be enough. But if you know you're gonna do some other things, you know, that's gonna cost you more than $125 for that day, you need to have about 400, maybe $500 at least, bare minimum, on that card. And supposedly it's only gonna be on there from generally maybe to the next day, sometimes maybe 2 days. But um, it's a shame it's come to this. It really is. But we'll see how that works. This next story here is a little, how can I put it? It's a little mind-boggling maybe, or I want to say it's funny, but it's really not funny. And it's not funny because of the consequences and repercussions that could happen because of it. But out in West Hollywood, says that West Hollywood votes to cut Los Angeles County Sheriff funding amid crime wave. And if I'm not mistaken, I got this is off of Fox News. And make this one make sense to me, because there's already a crime wave happening out in West Hollywood, which I'm not for sure if it said in the story, I don't remember, but also let you know that there's not enough police right now. So if there's not enough police right now, what's going to happen when when they defund the police and you have less police officers? Think about that. Goes on to say here, a trendy Los Angeles County community has voted to reduce law enforcement funding despite escalating crime that was up 137% earlier in the year and public backlash. So that's what I'm saying. It was up 137% earlier in the year. Crime was. Wow. That's crazy. And there was already public backlash. The budget for the next 2 fiscal years will leave West Hollywood with up to 5 fewer Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies on patrol. At the same time, the council approved increasing funds for a cultural arts festival. What the heck? So a cultural arts festival is more important than safety? Really? Like, what are we doing? That's clearly it's basically what it's saying. When you read the article, I leave the links to the articles in the description here, but that's basically what it's saying. That a cultural arts festival is more important than the safety of the people that live in West Hollywood. Let me read that again. The budget for the next 2 fiscal years will leave West Hollywood with up to 5 fewer Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies on patrol. At the same time, the council approved increasing funding for a cultural arts festival. The budget was approved by a narrow 3-2 vote, with Mayor Lauren Meister dissenting as well as Councilman John Erickson. So Mayor Lauren Meister and Councilman John Erickson, I mean, I don't generally say this about California politicians, but in this particular instance, they seem like they had some common sense to dissent on this because they know it's going to happen. And I know it's part of Hollywood, West Hollywood. I'm not familiar with the whole scene out there, who lives where, but I know it's supposedly a lot of, maybe a lot of rich and famous and wealthy people live in the area, but or near that area. But I mean, you pretty much just kind of opened the doors for more crime to take place. Like there may have been people out there, criminals out there who were waiting to go commit crimes in that area, and they're like, we got to be concerned about the police. Which obviously wasn't, they weren't too concerned since crime was up 137% earlier this year. But they're definitely going to go out there now. Like criminals are going to go out there and wreak havoc. Unless they know something we don't know, criminals are going to go out there and wreak havoc. It's I don't know. Let me know what you all think about that. Is anything like that happening in your area, in the county where you live? If so, be careful. And once again, looking at all of this, and yet there are still people in places that don't want to give us or don't want us to have the right to defend ourselves, to exercise our Second Amendment right. But yet like this community is an example of, they're taking away people who are supposed to serve and protect. Not saying that all police are perfect and they're great. I'm just saying, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. It's crazy. Absolutely insane what's going on right now. Quote, most residents and businesses I have heard from are opposed to cutting the sheriff's budget, unquote. Meister told Fox News in a statement, quote, they are outraged that people and organizations from outside of our community are dictating to council how to run our city. The narrative that we can have either sheriffs or social services, or either sheriffs or unarmed security teams, is false. Um, I mean, I'm pretty sure some people can afford to have unarmed or unarmed security teams, or I'm not for sure what social services comes into play, because social services, they're not going to really help, to be honest with you. What they're going to do, come out and talk to you. How is your day? How has this tragic event affected your life and your family? Oh, here's an 800 number to call. Or better yet, maybe it'll affect you so much mentally and physically that they'll put you on send you to a doctor or some kind of specialist, and they'll put you on some type of medication, which does happen, by the way. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't understand. I didn't really mean for this to go this long, but let me know what you all think about that. I mean, I'm not understanding, but there's just a small picture of what it would look like if they were to actually defund police everywhere and across the country. That's what it would look like. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, express your opinions. Please leave your comments. Share the video. Please subscribe to the channel and comment. I welcome all comments. As long as they're respectful and they're not degrading anyone, anything, please let me know. And as I always tell you, please do not let any mainstream media personality or so-called politician dictate how you think and what you do. Do your own research and think for yourself. See you.
I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.